Hi folks, this is Andy Skinner with Nebadon.com. In this video I'm going to show you a new trendline scan that's been added to the RAMP program. This is a scan that allows you to find stocks that have broken out some bars back, such as this chart of AT&T. You can see the breakout occurred back here. The price then since the breakout has run up and now is pulling back and retesting the breakout line. The breakout line, of course, now becomes a support line. Some people call this trade setup old resistance, new support. Here you can see another one with Yum. It broke out 4 days ago, cleared the line nicely, and now it's pulled back and is testing the line today. Many feel this is an excellent long entry setup. Now let's look at the scan setup, and we'll actually run one of these scans. I'll close this window. I have ramp up. In step 1, where I select the data source, I selected just free end-of-day data off of the internet. Step number 2 is select the symbols to scan. In this case, I've simply clicked on select a symbol list and selected the S&P 500. So I'll be scanning 500 US stock symbols. Now to set up my trendline scan, I'm going to go to step 3 and click on trendline. And I'll go through these entries very fast. The ones we're really interested in are at the bottom. Allow percent from a trend line to be considered a touch. I'll allow 1%. Call that a touch. Number of touches required, I'm going to have it only set at 2. In this case, I'm not requiring many touches, and I found that works really well. Trendline minimum length is 34 bars. The maximum length I have set at 2,500 bars. Minimum length of the second largest span between touches as a percent of the largest. Think of this as disbursement. I want the second largest span to be pretty big compared to the first. That means I'm going to get a touch somewhere in the middle of the screen. All my touches won't be down at one end. Find horizontal trend lines only. I'm not interested in just horizontal trend lines. I'd like to find any kind of a breakout. And I'll do it on lower high of the bar as opposed to close. Now here's where we set up what we're looking for. Of course we want to scan for broken trend lines, so I'll select broken here. For broken, max bars back, and you can see I can select anywhere from 1 to 150 bars back. In this case I'll select 60 bars back. Must be retesting broken line. Here's where I put a checkbox. I want it to find a breakout within the last 60 bars, and it's now come back and is retesting the line. I could do this for either support or resistance line, for either bearish or bullish setups. The one I just went through was a broken resistance line, which would be bullish. And I'll leave it that way. Here's a resistance line. The next entry is show all support and resistance lines. This will overlay all of the current support and resistance lines. It can make the chart a little messy, and I'm not going to do that right now, but it can be very valuable. I'll come back and do that in just a minute. Now I'm just going to simply click on Start Scan, and I'll let the RAMP program go ahead and scan and find all stocks that have broken out recently and are retesting their breakout line. This is a really fast scan. Most of the time spent during this scan is simply waiting for data download from the internet. The actual scan time is actually lightning fast in the RAMP program. The scan is finished now, and you can see over on the left there were 37 charts returned. So out of the S&P 500, 37 charts are experiencing this pattern today. Here's the Yum we just looked at. I'll tab down through some of these very quickly, and you can see there's a red vertical line that shows the original breakout, all within the last 60 bars. The price is returned on the current bar to within, it's actually set hard-coded in the program to be within 2% of the old trend line. Notice they may not have touched the old trend line, but they're within 2%. Now I'll close this, and I'm going to run the same exact scan with one small change. I'm going to put a checkbox on show all support and resistance lines. Now I'll start the scan again. This is the exact same scan. It's finding the exact same stocks and charts, The only difference is it's adding all of the support and resistance lines so that you can see them if you like to. And this can be very helpful, although it is a little messy. So I'll show you how to do one other thing while we're here. I'm going to close that. I'm going to jump over to Bob charts, which are the support and resistance lines. I'm going to make a small change. Number of lines to show. I'm set right now to show 3 support lines and 3 resistance lines. So I'm adding 6 lines to the chart, which makes it a little messy. I think I'm going to take it down to 1. Now that says 1, I'll go back over to trend line. I'll run the same scan again, and now the support and resistance lines will be added. Will be much fewer and come out with cleaner charts. There we go. Now you can see the closest support and resistance lines and the breakouts. That's a little cleaner, but you can set it up any way you want to. The program is very, very versatile in this way. Now I'm going to click on support, and I will start the scan again. I think I'll take off the additional lines. I'll let it run again. This time I've inverted the logic. We're looking for stocks that have broken support and have come back up to test the support line, which of course now becomes a resistance line. Our support line test is finished. I see here we were returning 23 results. That's the same 500 symbols. I'll tab through a few of these. Here's a good example of Floor Corporation. Broke down, and now it's come back up, and we'll be retesting that line as resistance. Here's a good example of Tiffany. Tiffany broke its support line and is now bumping up against that support line, which of course now becomes resistance. With that, I'll close this video. This is Andy Skinner. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.